So as things stand, we are currently one win away from our first ever domestic cup final with Lincoln City. Question is though, can we do it? Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco. Today, 2 games for you. We've got Burnley in the Carabao Cup or the League Cup semi-final, and then we're going to skip the QPR FA Cup game because we don't really care about that too much, and then we've got Bournemouth in the Premier League. Since you were last here then, since our 1-1 draw with Burnley in the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg, Burnley, remember, are a championship team now, so that was a pretty poor result for us at home as well. Afterwards, we played Tottenham. We went 1-0 up there. We played pretty well, actually, for the rest of the game until they scored on the hour mark, and that's sort of when we fell apart. So, wasn't the best result after that, but we played very well for 60 minutes at least. We then came up against Crystal Palace, where they scored very early on, and it looked like we weren't going to score a goal, actually, all game until Mason Mount scored late on as he came on as a substitute. And then last time out, we played Stoke, where Facundo Vieira came off the bench to make his first team start, I think, maybe for Lincoln. He definitely got his first goal there, but scored in the 90th minute to pick up all 3 points for us, which we desperately needed, actually, because since the Brighton game, we hadn't actually won a league game since Brighton, obviously. We'd won the FA Cup game against Bristol Rovers, but they're League 1 or League 2, so it didn't matter too much. Our league form had actually been pretty dire, so to pick up a win against Stoke like that, especially in the 90th minute, really does turn things around for us now. In terms of league position, it still sits us quite nicely, sitting 10th in the table on 30 points. Last season, we avoided relegation on 34 points. So, you would imagine we're going to get more than 34 points this season. 40 is usually what you want to see to get safety in the Premier League. So, I think we're well on our way to be getting 40 points this season and avoiding relegation, finishing higher than we did last season. As I say though, in between the 2 games we've got QPR in the FA Cup 4th round, but I'm not really too fussed about showing you the earlier round of the FA Cup, only if we get to semi-finals. That's when I start showing the matches, and I'd rather show you a Bournemouth game in the Premier League as well, because the Premier League is probably what we should be focusing more on now that we could be in a final. If we get to a final, maybe we should forget about the FA Cup really from the final of the League Cup. We're not in the final of the League Cup yet though, and hopefully today this is the side that's going to do it for us. We're playing a more attacking formation this time than we did in the home leg, actually. I think we need to assert our dominance a little bit more. So Reynolds starts in goal with a back four of Masovic, Kobayashi, Williams and Valerie. In midfield, Perrier is alongside Jalapeno. Jalapeno beat Halal in the vote, and actually I think I do prefer Jalapeno as a nickname for that guy. So Jalapeno is now our deep line playmaker. Yu and Le Classic out on the wings, with Brahim Diaz getting a rare start this season in that attacking midfield position. In behind Hammer Time, who hasn't been in the most prolific form recently. I'm thinking maybe we start to play Facundo Vieira or Chuma a little bit more than him, maybe, if he's not scoring goals. But he's still our number 1 striker and he's still a wonder kid, so he gets the game time. Right, kickoff is upon us, and this is how it goes. Someone asked actually last episode if you can get match stats and the league table up on the side of the screen, so I've done that. I haven't really bothered before because you get match stats and stuff here. But if you guys like it on the side of the pitch, we'll leave it there. Let me know what you think down below. I may get a mod to change this so we don't see Burnley lineups, for example. We see like a Lincoln lineup and then loads of stats over here. So that might be a bit better, I think. January transfer window is still going on. I think today is the final day for it, actually. That goalkeeper from Crystal Palace was the only guy that we were really looking to sign. We agreed a fee of 20 million in the end, which is a bit too much for my liking. And then he wanted a contract of £92,000 a week, and I wasn't prepared to pay that because I think the most we're paying for a player at the moment is 40,000 at most, if that's even it. It might even be less than that, I'm sure. As Hammer Time gets on the end of a Brad Yeo cross and puts us 1-0 up 20 minutes into this game so far. As you can see from the stats here on this new little stat box here, 6 shots to their 1 shot. We've had 60% possession as well. So hopefully this more attacking formation will do the business for us. I think last time we just sat a bit too deep. I think we stuck with our Premier League tactics that have been working for us quite well, but I think because our Premier League tactics sort of are more counter formation, I think playing that against the league championship club wasn't particularly the best idea. It didn't work out too well for us. So I think going more attacking today will assert our dominance and our better players, basically, and we should be able to pick up the win today. I mean, nothing really happening so far in this game, actually. The only highlight has been for that goal. There wasn't another highlight, but nothing happened in it, so it wasn't really worth talking about. We've now got a highlight now as Lacasic puts out towards Jalapeno on the edge of the area into Diaz. Diaz gets tackled and now Dugdale wins the ball and Burnley can come forward now on the counter-attack, but Jan Valery makes a great interception, plays a beautiful ball to Hammer Time, who's in behind the defence and slots it past the goalkeeper. He scored another one now and Hammer Time makes it 2-0, and surely now, we're only 40 minutes into the game, but surely you've got to assume Wembley is now calling our name, surely. Well, half-time, that's been a pretty decent first half actually. I've enjoyed that. Passionately. No, we'll go calmly actually. Don't let performance levels drop. Hammer Time seems confused and demotivated, so we'll just tell him that, like, passionately, very happy with the performance out there. He's just confused now, not demotivated at least. But we don't want to make sure we concede goals now. Does that even make sense, that sentence? We want to make sure we don't concede goals. That's what we're trying to do now. We've got one hand on that place in Wembley, and you could argue one hand on the cup itself. But of course, either Manchester United or Manchester City await us in the final. And I think if we play Man City, we've got a chance. If we play United, then no chance, basically, no chance. Lukasic on the ball on the edge of the area then, plays to Jalapeno, whose shot was parried by the goalkeeper, only put in the face of Hammer Time. And stop, Hammer Time's got himself a hat-trick. Well, it's a good time for him to announce himself back on the score sheets. I said he hadn't been very good in the past few games, and all of a sudden he scored 3 goals. So he clearly heard me, and he decided to perform for the cameras when you guys are here. It's nice to see he's back into scoring ways. If this form continues, that'll be fantastic. If it doesn't, then, well, he's not cut out for the Premier League then, is he? Everyone's played pretty well, but there's a few tired faces out there. Kobayashi's looking tired, so we'll take him off. Garcia on. We'll put Mount on for Jalapeno, who's also looking a little bit tired. And they're the two that we'll make right now. We may look to bring Hammer Time off towards the end of the game, but with only 15 minutes left to go, I don't think we'll be needing to make any more changes at all. Lukasic on the ball once again for us, plays back to Valery, whose cross isn't a good one, and it's played out by Burnley, but Burnley can't really do much with it now as Tony Martinez is on the ball, trying to come forward with the ball, trying to create something, try and maybe get their way back into the game, but I think a goal if they score now would only be a consolation goal, as they put the ball into a man in the middle, Tony Martinez, who can't get it on target. If he got that on target, that was a goal for Burnley, no question, but fortunately for us, it wasn't. Not gonna lie, actually, Burnley have played pretty well. They've matched us nearly actually for shots on target and things like that. Possession wise is a lot similar now, so our dominating opening 20, 30, 40 minutes or so has actually been pegged back in the second half by Burnley. They've played pretty well, and perhaps that's a sign that Burnley are a team that do have a lot of Premier League quality still, or maybe it's a sign that we're just not very good. And there we go, full time. We have only gone and done it. We're going to Wembley. It was a pretty uneventful match, actually, apart from the goals. There was literally nothing happening other than the highlights for the goals. But we've overcome the opposition 3-0. And let's get confirmation here in the news. If you want to tell us, there we go. Lincoln book a place at Wembley. As you can see, actually, I didn't check the scores before this, but Man United did win 4-1 against Man City. So it's going to take a monumental effort to beat United in the final if it gets to that. We did draw against them, actually. Earlier in the season, Man United, we drew 1-1 with them and played pretty well, but it's a cup final. It's different. Our players are going to be giddy because we've not had a cup final before, whereas Man United players do it every season, so they're going to be used to it. The nerves are going to be on our side. I think our boys are going to feel the pressure where they won't. Right, as you can see, we've got the FA Cup game in a few days' time, and then after that, we've got the Bournemouth game. So I'm going to go and play the QPR game now, and then I'll come back to you for when the Bournemouth game kicks off. I forgot who we were playing then after I'd literally said it 30 seconds before. So we're back now for the Bournemouth game. We did win that FA Cup game. It's QPR 3-1 in the end, very comfortably. Ashley Fletcher, an old player of ours, scoring late on for QPR there to get a consolation goal, but we got the win. As expected, Manchester United did go on to reach the Carabao Cup final, although it was pretty tight actually. If we look here, they lost to Man City 5-2, but because of the away goals, they managed to win the thing overall, so they go into the final against us in a couple of weeks' time. Transfer-wise, we did get rid of one more player over that transfer deadline day, and you've guessed it, it's Alex Gersbach. He's actually finally gone now. The player that we just could never get on with. He was rubbish. We hated him. He was honestly the most abysmal player I think I've ever had at Lincoln. 32 games with a 6.63 rating and had, what, 1 billion yellow cards? Something ridiculous like that. So he's finally gone now for double what we paid for him. So that's actually quite a nice turnaround for us. This is the squad that we've got going on today. Then we're back to that usual formation now. We need to actually change back to counter and structure, but then we're all set once again for a very, very usual lineup actually. I think the only change we've made is Diaz comes out and Coyle comes back in that CDM role. So Bournemouth have kicked off today's game, and Bournemouth, as we can see from a table which is now nicely displayed on the left hand side of the screen. I don't mind having the stats up here, but I feel like the league table makes it all look a little bit cluttered, perhaps. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but Cook comes very close actually for Bournemouth in the opening seconds of this game. But we're sitting 10th, Bournemouth sitting down 3 points below us in 14th as things stands. We're only still 6-7 points ahead of that relegation zone, so a few slip-ups and we could still be right back down there again, so it's really, really close this season. Bournemouth still coming forward on this opening highlight there. I don't know if it's going to be a goal or not, but they're still coming forward, but now their player's offside and that's the end of the highlight, so a long highlight for no reason, basically. So thinking forward to that cup final, we're going to have to really, really play our very best football if we want to beat Man United. Man United are the best team, not just in the Premier League the past few seasons, but the world, basically. They've won the Champions League a few times, they won the Premier League a few times. They're really, really good. And coming up against them, they're the reigning champions of the League Cup as well. So they won it last season. They look like they're going to win it again this year. Lincoln aren't particularly a real good match for them. But we're definitely going to do our best. We're definitely going to do our best, field our best side possible, and try and outplay them, really, if we possibly can do. First highlight of the game since that opening few minutes in this game now, and Yeo is coming forward for us, skips past his man, gets it through to Hammer Time. Easy as you like, Hammer Time slots it past the goalkeeper. Oh, he was offside though. Oh, I mean, that's a real downer, that is, actually. I'm not sure that was offside, if I'm being honest with ourselves there, but I'm not going to watch the replay because I'm not wasting time.
Passes man, gets it through to Hammer Time.
I mean, I feel like today's going to be a really, really short episode because both these games that we've played today haven't been very eventful. Nothing's happened. That first half literally went past in a minute, 2 minutes, if that. It was ridiculously quick. Bournemouth now have the first chance of the second half as they're playing around the edge of the area and they've got it in the area now, and Ben Britton has put it in the back of a net. There's now 4 teams on 30 points as things stand. However, our goal difference is vastly superior to the other teams there. But Bournemouth are a team we should be beating, really. If we want to be safe this season, Bournemouth they're meant to be down there. They're sort of a mid-table side, but more of a lower mid-table side, if you get what I'm saying. So there should be a team that we should be beating if we want to get that sort of mid-table position. We're coming forward with the ball now, though, to try and grab an equaliser as Jalapeno on the ball. Plays it through to Hammer Time. Hammer Time back to Jalapeno. We can just try and get a bit more movement. There's not a lot of movement there. Yeo now with a chance to put the ball in onto the back post. I'm not quite sure who got the header there. Was it Lacasic or Hammer Time? Either way, though, it's gone out for a corner ball, and Lacasic now got a chance to whip a corner in. He's put it in, but it's not beating the first man. And now Bournemouth can clear their lines. I mean, Hammer Time hasn't played particularly well today, so we're going to bring Chummer on instead for him. He's not had a few games recently, so we'll give him a little run out today, see what he does. We may bring on some of the players in 10 minutes or so, but something's got to change, and I think the change we need to make initially is that striker, because Hammer Time not played well today. I mean, the change hasn't done much because there's not been a highlight since, so we're going to bring De Silva on for Perrier instead, and I think we may bring Mason Mount on as more of an advanced playmaker, just try and get players up the pitch a little bit further on, try and create a few more chances further up the pitch as Jalapeno puts in a free kick. It goes on to I don't know what's happened there. Genuinely don't know what happened there. Don't know who got the ball, don't know what happened. It's gone out for a throw-in though, so the main thing was it didn't go in the back of the net, so that is the main issue there. Oh jeez, I forgot we were losing. I thought it was 0-0 again for some reason. We're actually losing this, aren't we? This is really, really now a bit of an issue now. Coyle get into the midfield. Mount may become more of an advanced midfielder. We're going to go attacking. We're going to go fluid. I'm not going to go attacking. We're going to go overload. Oh, blimey. I didn't realise we were losing that. I forgot completely. I don't even know how I forgot that. I was genuinely sitting here thinking it's 0-0, but of course they went to score one, didn't they? Right, we've got a few minutes now in added time to try and grab a goal now, but we've given possession away, and now Bournemouth can come forward once again, but Kobayashi, I thought it was Jan Valery for some reason as well, but Kobayashi makes a tackle and he's going to get himself red carded now. Second yellow for Kobayashi. He's been sent off the pitch. Well, we've got a cup final coming from Bournemouth don't, so who's the real winner here? Not the best way to end an episode there, especially I thought we were drawing. I feel stupid now for saying that. Even thinking that. It's ridiculous. Next time out then, it's got to be the League Cup final against Man United. We'll probably do maybe just a Man United game on its own, actually. Maybe Man United and Southampton. We'll work it out when we get there and things like that. But Man United, definitely next episode. If you've enjoyed today's episode, then make sure you do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco.